It had skydiving rangers, a villain made of purple slime, and armor so heavy the actors couldn't even sit down. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, 1995, wasn't just a leap from TV to film. It was a chaotic, ambitious mess behind the scenes. Between wild stunt injuries, costume disasters, and surprising inspirations, this movie had way more going on than what you saw in theaters. Here are 15 weird facts you probably never knew about Power Rangers the movie. Number 1. Australian stunt laws forced casting shakeups. When the producers decided to film Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, in Australia, they didn't realize they were stepping into a legal headache, specifically Australian labor laws. Local union rules required that stunt performers working on Australian soil had to be Australian citizens or residents. That caused major problems for the production. The original American stunt team, who had been doing flips, wire work, and fight choreography for the TV show, weren't legally allowed to perform those same roles on set. So the studio had to hire Australian stunt performers, some of whom weren't familiar with the Power Rangers' unique fight style. As a result, several fight scenes had to be reblocked and simplified, and the American stunt crew was reassigned to background duties or minor roles. It disrupted the flow, slowed production, and, according to cast interviews, impacted the final action quality of the film. It's one of those bizarre real-world issues that shaped how the Rangers moved, fought, and looked on screen. All because of a little fine print in a foreign filming agreement. Number 2. Johnny Young Bosch did his own stunts after his double got injured. You'd think in a big-budget superhero movie, the actors would always have someone else doing the dangerous stuff, right? Well, not for Johnny Young Bosch, who played the Black Ranger, Adam. Midway through production, his stunt double, Danny Stallcup, injured his leg and had to leave the shoot, but the show had to go on. Rather than delay filming or find a quick replacement, Johnny stepped up and said, "I'll do it." That's right. Every single ninjetti fight scene you see in the film after that point, that's not a stunt guy in the suit. That's Johnny doing his own martial arts, flips, and combat choreography. He was already a skilled martial artist, but doing stunts for camera, especially in heavy armor, with limited vision and movement, is a whole other challenge. And yet, he pulled it off. Most viewers had no idea they were watching the real actor, not a stunt performer. So next time you see the Black Ranger take on Tengu warriors with a spinning back kick, just know, that's not Hollywood magic. That's Johnny. Number 3. Ivan Ooze used black currant juice to dye his tongue.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ooze is back! Yeah!
Ivan Ooze wasn't just a villain. He was nightmare fuel for a whole generation of 90s kids. Purple, gooey, and way too gleeful about world domination, he became an instant icon. But here's a weird detail you probably never noticed. His tongue was purple too. That wasn't CGI. It wasn't makeup. That was juice. Actor Paul Freeman, a classically trained British performer, you might recognize him as Belloc from Raiders of the Lost Ark, was all in on creating a totally bizarre character. And to make sure every inch of him matched the purple slime persona, he came up with a brilliant and disgusting trick. He drank black currant juice between takes, swirling it in his mouth so that his tongue would match the color of his face and costume. Not only did it add a freaky layer of realism, but it made Ivan look even more alien and unsettling. No special effects, just fruit juice and commitment to the role. Sometimes, the weirdest parts of a character come from the actor and their snack choices. Number 4. They filmed the movie and TV show at the same time. Imagine filming a major Hollywood movie by day and a weekly TV show by night. That's exactly what the Power Rangers cast had to do in 1994. While Power Rangers the movie was being shot in Australia, the main series was still in production back in the US. To keep both running, the showrunners used stand-ins, recycled footage, and secondary teams for the series, while the core cast flew overseas to work on the movie. But it wasn't as simple as splitting the teams. The cast had to record ADR, voice work, for the TV episodes from Australia, and even fly back to the US between shoots at times. It was exhausting, confusing, and chaotic. They were literally Power Rangers 24/7. The pressure of maintaining both productions meant the movie's schedule was tight. The actors were constantly jet-lagged, and everyone was spread thin. Despite that, the movie got made, the show kept airing, and somehow, the fans never noticed how stretched everything really was. Behind the morphing grid? Just pure hustle. Number 5. The story was secretly inspired by The Wizard of Oz. You probably didn't notice it as a kid, but Power Rangers the movie has some serious Wizard of Oz energy baked into its plot. Think about it. The Rangers lose their powers, just like Dorothy leaving Kansas, are sent on a dangerous quest through a strange new world, planet Phaedos. Meet a mystical guide, Dulcea, who's basically a glowing space Glinda, and have to overcome personal trials to earn magical new abilities. Sound familiar? This was no accident. Writers and producers have acknowledged that the structure was loosely inspired by L. Frank Baum's iconic story, giving the Rangers an epic, myth-like journey rather than just another monster of the week battle. The spiritual tone, the animal totems, and the idea of finding power within are all nods to Oz. It was an attempt to give the movie a larger-than-life fantasy feel, separating it from the cheesier TV show. So yeah, the next time you watch the Rangers gear up with frog and falcon powers, just remember, you're basically watching Oz, but with more roundhouse kicks and ooze. Number 6. The suits and makeup made eating nearly impossible. You'd think being a Power Ranger is all about punching monsters and piloting Zords, but on this set, just eating lunch was a battle. The movie versions of the Ranger suits were a massive upgrade from the TV show's spandex, full-on armored costumes made from hard plastic and rubber. They looked cooler, sure, but they came with a big problem. The actors couldn't move normally, or eat. Each helmet had to be unlocked and lifted off in pieces, and the facial makeup for the ninjetti scenes stretched right up to the actors' lips. Eating or drinking meant risking smearing makeup, knocking off mic packs, or damaging prosthetics. Production had to build special rigs and tools just to help the actors eat without ruining their look. In some cases, they only had a few minutes to shove in food before rushing back into costume. One actor said, "You had to eat like a bird, and then go fight monsters." Behind the epic battles and slow-motion hero shots, a lot of growling stomachs. Number 7. That skydiving scene? Totally real stunt work. One of the coolest scenes in Power Rangers the movie happens right at the beginning. The Rangers skydiving out of a plane in full formation, high above Angel Grove. And believe it or not, that wasn't CGI. It was real. Instead of using green screens or digital tricks, the production hired professional skydivers to pull off the entire sequence. The stunt team jumped out of actual planes wearing color-coded jumpsuits that matched each Ranger, and filmed the whole thing in midair with helmet-mounted cameras and chase planes. To sell the illusion even more, they spliced in close-up shots of the real actors in a mock-up plane, edited together with real footage from the jumps. The result? One of the most impressive, realistic stunts ever pulled off in a 90s kids movie. And yeah, that surfboard landing? Totally fake. But the skydiving? 100% legit. It's easy to forget in the age of CGI overload, but back in 1995, the Power Rangers were still doing it old school, with guts, planes, and parachutes. Number 8. The movie suits are rarely used in toys or games. You'd think the armored Ranger suits from the movie, with their slick visors, metallic chest plates, and high-budget polish, would be everywhere in Power Rangers merch. But weirdly, they're not. The 1995 movie suits are almost never featured in official action figures, video games, or tie-in media. Even modern toy lines that celebrate every version of the Rangers tend to skip over them. Why? The most likely reason: licensing complications. The suits were developed specifically for the movie, which was produced by 20th Century Fox and not directly tied to the ongoing TV series under Saban Entertainment. That means there are different contracts, design rights, and distribution deals, all of which make it legally messy to reuse those designs. On top of that, the movie suits were expensive and difficult to recreate in plastic or digital form. Toy companies stuck with the classic TV designs, cheaper, simpler, and more recognizable. So despite being burned into every 90s kid's brain, the movie suits remain kind of forgotten. They looked amazing on screen, but off-screen, they vanished into licensing limbo. Number 9. The original script felt more like a TV episode. Before Power Rangers the movie turned into a flashy, big-budget spectacle, it started off as something a lot more familiar. Basically an extended episode of the show. Early drafts of the script used the same villain types, simpler costumes, and a visual style that looked just like what kids saw on Saturday mornings. The tone was campier, the action less intense, and the sets were limited to what could fit on a soundstage. But somewhere during pre-production, producers realized that if they were going to hit theaters, and compete with stuff like Batman Forever and Jurassic Park. They needed to go bigger. That's when everything changed. The script was rewritten, the suits redesigned, and the tone made darker and more cinematic. The team went all in with CGI Zords, new villain designs, and ambitious location shoots. The final version still kept the heart of the show, but it no longer looked or felt like an episode. It felt like something more. And for kids in 1995, that transformation made all the difference. Number 10. The parents off a cliff scene was almost too dark. Remember that moment when Ivan Ooze brainwashes all the parents in Angel Grove, turning them into hypnotized zombies? Creepy enough. But then he commands them to march off a cliff to their deaths. For a PG-rated kids movie, that was next-level dark. The scene shows hundreds of moms and dads, eyes glazed over, walking in a slow, cult-like trance toward the edge of a construction pit. The only thing standing between them and total disaster? A bunch of teenagers in spandex. Even for the Power Rangers, it was unusually grim. Some international versions reportedly edited or softened the scene, while parents and critics questioned how something that intense made it into a children's movie. Keep in mind, this was the same era where The Lion King traumatized kids with Mufasa's death. But still, mass parental suicide by mind control? That's a bold storytelling move. Luckily, the Rangers saved the day just in time. But the image of hypnotized parents shuffling toward oblivion? That one stuck with kids way longer than the Megazord battles. Number 11. The movie had a bigger budget than the entire TV season. If you ever thought the Power Rangers TV show looked kind of cheap, that's because it was. The original series ran on a shoestring budget, recycling footage from Japanese shows and shooting scenes fast with minimal effects. But when it came time to make the movie, Disney-level money came out to play. Power Rangers, the movie, had a reported budget of $15 million, which was more than an entire season of the show put together. That money went into custom suits, fully original fight scenes, CGI Zords, and international location shoots in Australia. The difference shows. While the series had rubber-suited monsters and cardboard sets, the movie had cinematic lighting, detailed creature makeup, and full orchestral music. Whether you loved it or not, it looked like a real blockbuster. Of course, not everyone loved where the money went, especially the early, clunky CGI. But it was a huge leap from the TV aesthetic. For the first time, being a Power Ranger looked expensive. Number 12. The Rangers get totally new animal spirit powers. In the TV series, the Rangers drew power from dinosaurs. Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, saber-toothed tiger, you know the drill. But in the movie, suddenly they're channeling animal spirits, like a frog, a bear, and a falcon. Wait, what? Yep, the movie ditched the classic dino theme and introduced Ninjetti powers, gifted by Dulcia on the planet Phaedos. Each Ranger got a new animal totem, and for some fans, it was a head-scratcher. The switch wasn't random. It was tied to the show's eventual transition into the Power Rangers Ninja arc, and the movie served as a kind of soft reboot. But the change was jarring for kids who came in expecting Dino Zords and got spirit animal kung fu instead. And who could forget Adam's reaction when told he gets the power of a frog? A frog? He mutters, clearly bummed.
Adam, what's wrong?
I'm a frog.
Still, the new suits and powers gave the Rangers a fresh identity, even if it meant saying goodbye to the prehistoric era. At least they didn't make anyone the platypus. Number 13. The movie earned $66.4 million worldwide. Despite the costume issues, tone shift, and critical shrugs, Power Rangers the movie was a box office win. Especially for a kids franchise with Saturday morning roots. Released in the summer of 1995, the film grossed $66.4 million worldwide against a budget of around $15 million. It wasn't a juggernaut like Jurassic Park or Batman Forever, but for a movie based on a TV show for 8-year-olds, that was a massive success. It proved that Power Rangers could pull in ticket sales on a global scale, not just in toy aisles. And while critics were mixed, praising the energy but slamming the dialogue, audiences didn't seem to care. They showed up, popcorn in hand, and cheered for the morphing madness. The movie's performance also helped pave the way for later Ranger reboots, spin-offs, and future attempts at theatrical releases. So while it didn't exactly win Oscars, the movie showed the world that a cheesy little kids show could become a worldwide brand, complete with Zords, ooze, and just enough box office muscle to make Hollywood pay attention. Number 14. The suits were so rigid, actors needed special chairs. Those slick, armored Ranger suits may have looked awesome on screen, but wearing them? That was a whole other story. Unlike the lightweight spandex used in the TV show, the movie suits were made from hard rubber and molded plastic, designed to look like futuristic body armor. But there was one big flaw. The actors couldn't sit down in them. At all. The armor didn't bend at the waist, the shoulder pads jammed into their necks, and even taking off the helmet required assistance. Between scenes, the cast had to lean against specially built backrests or stand around for hours, because normal chairs just weren't an option. At one point, the production reportedly built custom leaning racks so the actors could rest between takes without collapsing from exhaustion. Imagine trying to stay energized while locked in a body cast of plastic under hot lights for 12 hours a day. It looked heroic on screen, but behind the scenes, the Power Rangers were just trying not to pass out. Superheroes never looked so uncomfortable. Number 15. Costume and prop failures constantly delayed filming. For a movie all about high-tech suits, martial arts, and giant robots, things fell apart a lot more than you'd expect. During production, costume and prop issues became a daily struggle. The new Ranger suits, while visually impressive, were notoriously delicate. Mic packs would fall off inside the armor, making it impossible to record clean audio. Helmets got stuck, zippers jammed, and the heavy gear made it hard for actors to hit their marks on time. Then there were the weapons. Swords would break mid-scene, staffs bent under pressure, and the foam stunt props sometimes looked too fake on camera, requiring reshoots or last-minute replacements. Even the makeup was a problem. The villains' prosthetics, especially Ivan Ooze's, had to be constantly touched up due to heat, sweat, or accidental smudging. One smudge equals 30 minutes of delay. All of this meant the movie ran behind schedule more than once, costing the production time and money. So while the Rangers made saving the world look easy, the crew behind them was in an everyday battle with glue, sweat, and plastic. From juice-dyed tongues to actors stuck standing in custom racks, Power Rangers, the movie, was way weirder behind the scenes than it looked on screen. And somehow, it still became a hit. If you loved this blast from the 90s past, hit that like button. Drop your favorite Ranger moment in the comments and subscribe for more strange stories from your childhood.